What's up, everybody? This is Marcus, your MTT coach of the Academy of Poker, with another hand review for today. As always, make sure to like the video, leave a comment if you have any questions, and of course, subscribe to our channel and all our other social media stuff to not miss out on any updates from our Academy. As you also see, I finally got that haircut, feeling like a person again. And let's jump right into this shorthand review. It's not going to be as long as the usual ones because we're just going to go until the turn. Little spoiler here, but anyway, you can see it here because there's no river. Hi guys, my name is Marcus. I'm an MTT coach of the Academy of Poker, and we have a great offer for you. Our current Academy of Poker course will only cost you 200 euros, but if you do it the right way, you can even get it for free. All you have to do is hit the link in the description below, get in contact with our managers, and you can start right away. And now, enjoy the upcoming video. So this was from a scoop event a few days ago, and yeah, the key point here is to think about, or what to think about is like the sizings. They can give tells away and make decisions for you easier on whether to raise or just call, and to go for value or for bluffs here. So that's why keep that in mind. As you see, we're sitting in the big blind, 10-8 suited, really nice hand to defend the big blind with. We see an open from the hijack. Let's have a look at the ranges real quickly. As you see, pretty standard ranges, 27% of all the hands should be opened in the hijack there. We have a pretty wide defending range, as you see, really tight so far, so we would rather go for the tight approach, especially now with that many players on. So in general, we will most likely call those hands as well. But as I said, we're also, because we're already down to 30 bigs, we take that really tight approach here. Could sometimes use some of those hands, as you see here, for 3-0 bluffs as well, but overall really tight approach as said. And we go to a flop. As you see, we hit two pair. We have two queens and that 8, and now you see the c-bet here. First of all, let's have a look. We have the default check, and let's have a look at his line. As you see, 20% of it would be checked. You rather go for, as you see, third pot, which is already then weird that he goes for this really small, pretty much a sixth of the pot, or something around less than 20%, which on those boards is kind of weird. If it's a monotone board like three hearts or something like that, those bets make more sense. But other than that, GTO just doesn't really see that many bets. It's like 13% of the time. We go for that really small bet. And if you have a look, we have some queens in there where it does make sense, because if we have a queen, it's hard for our opponent to have some, and therefore we don't really use that sizing a lot. As you see, with some pairs and a few queens, but other than that, not that much really. And yeah, all the 8s, some of the queens sometimes. But yeah, it's really hard to get value. We will get called from hands like Jack 10, Ace highs for sure most of the time, especially if they have like Ace 9, Ace 10, Ace Jack. But yeah, like Jack 10, 10 9, Jack 9, this is pretty much it. Then of course all 8s and definitely all queens will call in this situation. So pretty easy thing here. He goes for the bet, and let's have a look at our calling range. You see we do raise pretty much all the queens except the full house, of course, and then have some some bluffs in here, some check raises, as you see, always with the backdoor flush draw, so the diamonds don't play that good. We even start folding already some of them, but then again, King Jack's really nice, still have some backdoors, but this would be one of the few bluffs pretty much, as you see we have. Same goes for King Jack. We sometimes raise just because we have we block some of his continuation betting range with hands that will pick up some equity later. And also, if we raise with that, we don't block any ace highs, so he might already fold some ace highs here, because we will sometimes raise an 8 here, at least if you think about the easy way, we could raise some eights here to protect from ace highs, for example, and just from overcards in general. And also sometimes, because the board is so dry, raise some queens to maybe give the opponent the idea of he wouldn't raise a queen, so he probably is not having that. That's why we see we will raise quite a lot of our queens, just because it's really it doesn't make it couldn't make that, or sometimes it maybe not make that much sense for the opponent. Why should he raise a queen here? I'm gonna stick here with I'm gonna stick it in with ace high, or I'm gonna be sticky. I'm gonna call and definitely go for it. Also, if we check raise here, hands like Jack 10, 10 9, and Jack 9 as I said, or maybe he has even over pairs, they definitely stay in there. As you see, we just go for that call, and let's head to the turn. Around 8 big blinds in the middle, and yeah, this is, for example, this is exactly one of the things. Like if you have an 8 now, you kind of hate to see that ace, because he definitely has all the ace x in his range. We don't have that many ace x in our range here, so this is a good thing. But then again, I thought about, if I check it to him, maybe because if I have a queen, I most likely just call the flop, and then the ace is definitely a hand he will continue to barrel. And then again, we see such a small bet. It's again just a little bit bigger than on the flop, as you see. Like here, he went less than 20%. And now he goes for 20, a little bit less than 20. Oh, actually, it's again a little bit less than. No, it is a bit more than 20 exactly. Sorry, it's between like 21, 22%. But again, really small sizing. And if he has a queen or an ace, like why would he bet that small? It doesn't really make sense, right? Because stack to pot ratio wise, for example, he could just if he has a queen, wouldn't he try to give, like most of the time he would check the flop behind, just because he doesn't get much value out of hands anyway. Now, if he bets that small, the turn, if he has an ace, for example, he would still try to get value from a lot of eights, from gut shots and so on. So he would try to also go bigger, because if I just call here, there's 11.63 big blinds in the middle. This is not a lot. I still have 28 behind, so it's really hard for him to get value. So my idea was that we now go for the raise, and I pretty much raise what is in here, the pot. So like I make an 80% raise of the pot in there, and yeah, he folded. So my incentive here was, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to go that small in the sizings, because it looks like really like a blocker bet, where he definitely has just like some gut shots. Let's say king jack, king 10, jack 10, 10 9, jack 9, something like that. Maybe even suited, but probably did not end up hitting that backdoor flush draw, because he would probably call if he has like a gut shot plus flush draw. Um, and therefore, I think, yeah, this bet looks so weak that I'm definitely going to raise here. And most of the time, if I have just like king highs or just some gut shots, I think it's a bit harder. Probably not the best thing for me to have a 10 here, as it blocks some of the possible straight draws he can have. Also, that is what GTO is saying. So if you see, we go for the check. He bets really small, and if we have a look at what he's betting really small, some of the ace X for sure. And as I was saying, if we has like gut shots, for example, like even with the best possible draw he can have here, like the king high flush draw with the gut shot, he should go bigger. And there's only, yeah, like for example, king jack of spades. This would like be one of the exact hands I was just talking about. As you see, in that case, GTO even actually is preferring that really small sizing. Also with all the other ones except the king jack of clubs, for whatever reason, I'm not really sure why there's such a big difference in the sizings here with the clubs. Um, but you see, with spades and diamonds, like that, in that way, this bet would make sense. We can also have a look at other hands, such as Jack 9. In that case, we just don't see that at all, because in this case, the king is most likely better, as it has at least some showdown value being king high. And if we have Jack 10 or Jack 9 here, it is hard, like we can still have some king highs. So therefore, should go for a bigger sizing in those cases, so the opponent is not that, yeah, it doesn't really get a good price to call with king high, which could definitely be the case. So therefore, I decided to raise it as set. And now I wanted to have a look here with you guys if it makes sense with the hand I use. So, for example, like a weaker, because as I said, I wasn't feeling that sure if my hand is that good with a 10, even though it worked out. But in general, if we see the with the 7, for example, we do see some raise. I mean, with the flush draw, it's clear pretty much because we pick up so much equity here. And for example, 8-7 of diamonds pretty much has the even a higher percentage of raising here because we don't block the flush draws, which is probably a good thing because we still will give him a bad price if he just has a flush draw without some gut shot in there. And we don't block all of the possible other combinations where he has the backdoor flush draw on the flop. So the spades, the hearts, and the clubs. Um, Now to look at is for example also 10-9 suited here. You see, there it makes more sense because then it's harder for him to have those combinations, and we still have some equity. Now with my specific hand, I should actually just call 100% of the time. Funny enough, with the hearts, as said, we pick up quite some equity with the flush draw, so therefore raising is advised at least a third of the time. And with the spades, we do just at 2%, which is basically nothing. So just 1 out of 100, 2 out of 100 times when you have that idea, you would do that. But actually, with the 10-8 of diamonds, you shouldn't raise here, just because I said we don't block any of the flush draws at least. So the backdoor, his flopped backdoor flush draws. And that kind of helps if you have the 10 of diamonds, means there's still the thing of 10 of clubs, the 10 of spades, and the 10 of hearts in the game. So it probably is better because there's still the chance for him to be bluffing, and we can have a really nice bluff catching card here. Also, we do block some of his outs. If he has a set king jack or jack 9, we block something with a 10, which is cool. However, I decided here, thought it was pretty nice to not have any of the backdoor flush draws here, so that was enough for me. Even though I had the blocker with the 10, went for the raise, and as you see, he folded here. As said, not the best, not the GTO line here, still worked out, which is of course nice, but from now on I will have that in mind, uh, that in this case, this is a nice hand to just call down, because he can have so many draws and will most likely bet a third time once the river breaks here. And like we want to see like a 7 and below of everything but a heart, and then we're happy with it. So just like the king, jack, even a 10 is most likely not that cool for us. So like we don't want to see a king, a jack, and a 9 and no hearts. Other than that, we're pretty cool, and we can always call down here. However, of course, he will check back so much afterwards if we call twice here. Uh, that's why also I decided to make the raise here, because I think he will not bet the river anyway. Maybe he picks then up. He then picks up some showdown value, as said, with like a jack or a 9 or something like that, and then we lose the pot, and I rather just took it down here. And yeah, the idea came because of his weird sizing. So make sure to always keep an eye on that. If the sizing is kind of off, and it seems like it doesn't make too much sense for you, then go for it. Then you can choose. You can try to raise it, and a lot of times I'm pretty sure it will work. However, of course, here the turn sizing was actually quite good from him, as you see that GTO is advising this sizing quite a lot actually. Oh no, that's me. Sorry. Yeah, player two, all fine. All right, there we go. Sorry. So as you see, actually, I mean, in like 20% of the time, it's at least part of this of his play. Then here, just every fifth time, there's some hands where he can choose that. But other than that, it doesn't make too much sense, and on the flop even less. So therefore, like on the flop, you already got the idea. Okay, doesn't make too much sense. Let's see what he does on the turn, and if he does the same thing again, and it didn't make sense on the flop, then that's where you put your foot down and yeah, try to go for it and take down the pot. That's what I did. I think pretty nice hand to, yeah, just to see what sizings can give you as a small tell or a small idea of how to react to those, and yeah, take down the pot without having a showdown, which is always nice because then they don't see that you went for like a really thin play here, and they don't. Most of them would just think, oh, he had a queen. And if I do that again, they will most likely give me a queen as well, and will maybe even fold their ace x for the next time, which is even better to do it than if people start folding ace x here if I have such a hand. So yeah, pretty nice, I'd say. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, if you have any questions or any ideas how you would maybe play it differently, let's discuss it in the comments, or join me on my streams on Twitch and or YouTube, and yeah, ask me that again or give me your opinion on that. Other than that, guys, thanks for tuning in. Have a good day. Good luck at the tables, and see you in the next video. Ciao.